Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Ultra League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Cresselia. It has been quite some time since I've run Cresselia, and it is still as good as it's ever been in the Ultra League. It will be on the lead for maximum versatility, along with Poliwrath on the safe swap. Poliwrath, not only a very good lead in the Ultra League, but also proves to be an amazing safe swap option, protects Cresselia from the steel and fire types in the meta, and rounding out the team, Alolan Sandslash in the back. I wanted a versatile closer with maximum coverage for this Ultra League meta, and we ended up landing on Sandslash as the closer on this team. Yeah, guys, it's been a while, and I thought we'd have another look at Cresselia, and this team is very, very good for it. And here we go, Giratina lead. We don't get to see what fast move they instantly pivot into a Greedent, and we have Poliwrath here for this Greedent. Glad to see this here. Poliwrath is our best answer on this team to a Greedent, and we are happy to meet it here. So this is pretty dominant. We are very bulky, much like Greedent. We tank multiple body slams here, no problem, and they are not doing very much in terms of fast move pressure. And now we will look to go for a Scald and farm down this Greedent here and lead this matchup with minimal health and maximum energy. That's the name of the game when you're playing out these mid-game matchups here in any league, in Pokemon Go Battle League in general. So that's the goal. That's what we achieved. Minimal health, maximum energy, and we're going to fire off a Ice Punch here on this Giratina. Super effective, but you'd never know with how little damage that did to the very bulky Giratina. And it is on Dragon Breath, so we will now meet this with our Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash thoroughly dominates Giratina in general, let alone with Dragon Breath. And they're staying in here, which is very interesting. Poliwrath did the job, allowed us to control the alignment here, and it really makes me wonder what they have lurking in the back. And we are just thoroughly dominating this Giratina. It does not have a prayer here, although they are slowly but surely whittling away. And we are just going to farm this thing down and leave with energy. And they top left, so I don't have any idea what could have been in the back, but something that definitely either didn't want to see Cresselia in the end game or A-Slash with loaded energy. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, I think definitely in the current meta, Cresselia best suited as a lead, where you can swap out of bad leads, but that is not what we had there. We had a Virizion, that's a good lead for Cress, and they safe swap yet another Greedent. So this is what prompted the switch to Poliwrath, amongst other things, but the Greedent safe swap, we actually started out with Jellicent on this team, and we will see one singular battle with Jellicent in the place of Poliwrath. That was the first battle, and then after that one, it went well, but after that one, I saw some holes and made the switch to Poliwrath, but here we are, dominating yet another Greedent, going to play it exactly the same way we did the previous matchup. Lead this mid-game matchup with minimal health, maximum energy. Plays out the exact same way. Poliwrath dominates it. And expecting perhaps that Viriz to come back in. They do, and we have loaded energy because of our overfarm on that Greedent there. Going to fire off the Ice Punch. Does a decent amount of damage, and with our bulk, we will absolutely make it to another Ice Punch. You just want to make sure you're throwing with proper timing. If you run a 2 up against the 3 turn, you'll want to be throwing on 1, 4, 7, and sometimes 10. And holy smokes, Poliwrath putting in the work, taking out nearly 2 Pokemon, and there is the Steelix. So this is a very common line. The slightly modified version of team number 4 from my top 5 best teams, with Greedent in the place of Giratina. So here we are. We had the alignment, but you guys are going to see it's actually quite comical. We actually try to find the Luzcon in this matchup. We make this a lot more difficult than it needed to be, but what you guys will see. I won't spoil it, but this is about as dominant of a matchup as you will ever find in the Ultra League. You just go straight drill run, you let all of the breaking swipes go, but if they build up to the EQ, you can tank one from full health, but as you can see there, I think they were one off, to be honest. So we do give up a shield there just out of caution, and we go for the drill run there. And here is where we try to find the lose con, trying to get too fancy, trying to preempt the opponent. So we pivot back into Crest, expecting that Virizion with loaded energy to look to combo play us. Because they have 2 moves, we have 1 shield. So I was expecting them to do that, but with a healthy Crest in the back, in hindsight, that does not make sense for the opponent to do. They're in a very tough spot, and we made things a lot easier for them, giving them hope, but we are still fine here. We just made this a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Kind of funny, but they're staying in and likely trying to grab that final shield, but it is just not going to happen. We are far too bulky. And we're just going to go for these grass knots here and look to dispatch of this Steelix. But I think right about here, we aggro pivot yet again, trying to snipe, but they were onto us. They waited a turn. We do draw back up the Virizion. Gonna let this go. Grass can clean this up, no problem. And we do get that Psycho cut through. So that should KO the Virizion. We don't even really need to shield this, but we will just to be extra cautious. Or they actually needed 1 more Psycho cut. This Steelix has a move. Timer is counting down. We will absolutely survive this. And the time has expired and we went on timeout. So made that a lot more difficult than it needed to be. But that just goes to show the dominance of this team. Still able to pull out the win. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, guys, all the moving parts on this Cresselia team are amazing and work and mesh very well together for this current meta. But here we go, Dragonite lead, not too bad. We're going to stay in here and look to either pressure shields or win lead on this Dragonite. Dragonite's very squishy, and of course, Moonblast one-shots. I'm sure they know that, so we're going to bait with the Grass Knot, successfully doing so, and we are off to a good start. Already grabbing shields from the very squishy Shadow Dragonite. We don't intend to shield anything. We have an amazing answer to this Dragonite in the back on our team, and now, after baiting, we're going to go for the Moonblast, and we grab the second shield. That is A-okay, absolutely fine. They're going to throw before we get to another potential Moonblast, and we're going to let this go. They are at 2 moves. It does not make sense to shield this. So now we're going to bring in our A-Slash, and they've got a Jelly in the back. So this is looking like the common line Dragonite, Jellicent Core, generally a Steel type in the back, coming in the form of either Regiseal or Cobalion. And we were making the team read, which is why we were absolutely fine letting Cresselia go down. And we're going to stay right here because Jellicent is a nightmare for Poliwrath, and Alolan Sandslash does quite well into Jellicent. So this team, core broken by an A-Slash in the back. You'd love to see it. Going for another drill run there. And do believe we shield this to farm down and leave relatively healthy. Or no, we let it go. Okay, never mind. We're putting a lot of hope and faith in the Poliwrath. Again, I was making the team read. So I was thinking we can let A-Slash go down. They're going to leave with a Shadow Ball, and we can get a double resisted farm down. So now I remember the thought process there. They come back in with the Dragonite, and for some reason don't throw their move. So we're saying bye-bye to the Dragonite. And it's not the Steel type we were thinking. It's a Toxicroak. But we are still up a shield, and they're not going to make it to 2 Sludge Bombs in time. We're going to go for the Scald. Doesn't KO, but the resisted counters will essentially put it within Ice Punch range. They are at back-to-back Mud Bombs. The play for them is the bait, but they need a Sludge Bomb to KO. A Mud Bomb from this health range on our bulky Poliwrath is not going to cut it, I'm afraid, and we are at the move. So this is 99 Sleep Tight for this Toxicroak here. We have this Ice Punch, and we're taking out the Toxicroak. Poliwrath coming in clutch to close the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played. This team really puts in the work. And like I said, we started out with Jelly in the place of Poliwrath. Very first battle of the day. And we're met with an Ampharos Core Breaker. Holy smokes. one of the two Pokemon I was really looking to avoid with this particular team, and here we go. First set of the day, we run into one. Ampharos, obviously, core breaks, Cress, and any water type in the back, but they swap out into their own Cress, speaking of. So that kind of threw me off. I was still calculating how we're going to overcome that Ampharos. So we throw a Moonblast. We don't get an attack drop, so we rebank and pivot into our Alolan Sandslash. I was reluctant to do this because Alolan Sandslash is going to be the best answer to that Ampharos on our team. But most Cressalias are running Grass Knot, so I didn't want to bring Jellicent in onto this Cresselia here. So, yeah, we're in a pickle. We've got to tap dance around this one a little bit, and they're just going straight Moonblast. No unlucky attack drops for us here, so we do have that working in our favor. We're just over farming as much as we can, trying to stay healthy and close to a move to threaten that Ampharos that may come back in on us. They go for another Moonblast there, and they aggressively pivot, not wanting to get farmed down. So we're going to go for this Drill Run. It would have been a very safe bait to go for the Ice Punch, but we go Drill Run, grab the shield, and we combo play and go for a Grass Knot here, hoping for that final shield, but we don't get it. That's okay. I wasn't sure if we would survive a Shadow Brutal swing here. It doesn't have stab. We do survive with a few HP long enough to put the pressure on this major core breaker here, going for the Grass Knot, grabbing the shield, so that's okay. Seeing them shield that kind of got me panicked. We throw in our low health A-Slash. But they throw energy, which is fantastic for us. We were not close to a move, but perhaps they lost track of our energy. So we do get them to dump energy there, and we're just going to 2-shield farm down if necessary. I don't know what else could be in the back there, but we can't tank any damage from this thing. It's a Giratina with no shield, so we are looking good here. Holy smokes. That's definitely something I'm okay to see, especially up a shield here. And I do believe that Ampharos has a move, so we can't shield anything here. All we need to do is make it to another Shadow Ball, and we will do that, no problem. 1 Hex off. We get to this Shadow Ball. This will absolutely be KOing the Giratina, and yeah, we do take that out. And I think we are in cruise control here. Everything else is in farm down range. We just have to shield up the move that they have on the Ampharos. I think we got 1 Hex through there. I think it'll require 1 more Hex. Yes, 1 more Hex does the trick, and that Cresselia is hanging on by a thread. They realize that, and they top left. Holy smokes. That Ampharos had me a little nervous, but we got that one done in the end. Good game, well played to them. Ampharos Core Breaker, no problem for this team, but holy smokes, an Ampharos Core Breaker and then a Trevenant Core Breaker as we make the switch to Poliwrath in the second match of the day. We will see Poliwrath from here on out. Oh man, we had Ampharos in the first battle, and we get hit with a Trev in the second one. This is Pokemon number 2 that we were vociferously hoping to avoid along with Ampharos. We get them back to back. Holy smokes. We have to stay in. We can't swap out of this. Can't swap into A-Slash. That is not a good safe swap. You're just asking for trouble if you do that, because if they have a Pokemon with fighting type fast move in the back, you're in trouble. But we do successfully bait. We faked another Moonblast and got a shield off of the Trevenant. So now we're going to bring an A-Slash onto that loaded Treb, and they safe swap a Drapion, so we're looking okay. We're looking all right here. We get to dodge the Trevenant with our Poliwrath here. They do have Sludge Bomb, but we do survive that. Even from a Shadow, like I said, Poliwrath has the bulk for sure to compete in this Ultra League meta. Going for a Scald and not wanting to give up that final shield, they let the Scald go. And we're going to let this go. I do believe we survive on a slither of HP. We do, the bulk off the charts with Poliwrath. You'll love to see it. And we leave with a move to perhaps hit the Trevenant with, if they so choose to come back in with it. But they do have a move, so they can CMP tie us, but they chose not to. They let us get off this Ice Punch here. And they just let the Trev go down with energy. You'd love to see it. And they've got a Skuntank in the back. This is over. Holy smokes. We dodged another major core breaker obstacle with this team. You'll love to see it. So this is one of my favorite fellow content creators' favorite teams, King IV. He was really enjoying this team a couple of seasons back. So shouts to the opponent, checking out the great King IV. But yeah, with our tactical maneuvering, we were able to overcome a really bad lead. So guys, I hear you on the bad leads and the RPS and whatever it may be. But guys, you got to just hang in there and really do everything you can to find your win con. That's exactly what we see here. We just needed back-to-back Ice Punch one to get through that shield, and this one to say bye-bye to the Shadow Skuntank, courtesy of our closer, Alolan Sandslash, putting in the work. You love to see it. Good game, well played to them. Again, guys, I think the hallmark of a very strong team is the ability to overcome challenging leads. But here we go. Not the best lead, speaking of, yet again. Greedent, we safe swap our Poliwrath here. And they stay in a little bit, perhaps to chip and dip. We shall see. But we all know how this matchup goes. It does not favor Greedent. And they pivot back, or they counter swap us with a Charizard. So we're going to bait. We're loaded. They know that this Scald would hit pretty darn hard with some massive super effective damage with Stab. So we do successfully bait there. And this is not a Shadow. So even if this is a Blast Burn, we can let this go. And it does not KO. And we have the Scald. So are they going to want to give out that final shield? It'll be interesting to see. They do not, and they let the Charizard go down. Holy smokes. Nothing pleases me more. Warmed my heart in that moment. But the Greedent will get a significant farm there. But that's okay. We're going to come back in with Cress here. Greedent actually does pretty well into Sandslash because with Mud Shot, that fast move pressure, that super effective fast move pressure really adds up, and they double resist our Shadow Claws. So we've got to bring Cress in onto this thing. And although they have access to super effective Crunch, it doesn't have Stab, and Greedent doesn't hit particularly hard. So we're okay to let these go. We're going to put the hope and faith into our closer, Alolan Sandslash, to perhaps get this done for us. We just have to whittle away at this Greedent here. They're staying in for some very odd reason, perhaps because they think that they can do quite all right here. So I'm thinking they're weak to a Crest in the back, but they were not. They had a Skeleturge in the back. Holy smokes. I guess they didn't know what we had, so they figured Greedent's fine here, but we're not so fine. We are doing super effective, but these Incinerates are absolutely melting us away here. Holy smokes, we did get that final shield. We make it to another drill run doing big damage on the Flaming Crocodile, and my goodness, A-Slash did the job. Holy smokes, all we do is we shield this. They do have back-to-back disarming voices, but that Psycho Cut KOs, and we banked a move to take care of this Greedent. We're saying bye-bye to the chunky little squirrel, and my goodness, that was a fun one. Holy smokes, A-Slash put in work. Good game, well played to them. Oh man, A-Slash hanging on long enough to get off 2 drill runs on that Skeleturge was a sight to behold for sure. And here we go, Steelix lead, not a good lead for Cresselia. This is why we have these 2 Pokemon in the back, mostly for Steelix as well as Registeel, amongst others. So they stay in to Breaking Swipe debuff us before making a play into a Virizion. So we're going to try and do as much damage as we can. We don't want to shield anything here. This is not a positive matchup as most Virizions are running Leaf Blade, but that's not going to stop us from chipping away slowly but surely on our way out. They're just going to overload, I presume. Yeah, leave this matchup with a move. Leaf Blade should KO us from this range, and it does. So what we're going to do is come in with Cresselia and go for an extremely aggressive farm down with super effective Psycho Cuts. That was the play I saw, just to leave with loaded energy. I'm really not sure what they could have lurking in the back here. So that's the play. We're just going to Psycho Cut this thing into oblivion, leave with max energy here. And I imagine they're going to come back in with the Steelix, and if that is the case, we will bank the energy and come in with our Alolan Sandslash. So they're thinking, I'm not sure what they're thinking about. They do finally bring in the Steelix, and we meet this with our A-Slash here. And we're going to go for a drill run here. They're throwing with proper timing, so good on them, but that allows us to get off a drill run to pressure health or shield. They do decide to shield. That's a good shield by them. That would have been a safe bait for us as well, safely bait with an Ice Punch, but And there's a Golisopod in the bag, so... Oh, this one's not looking good. Oh, man. This is very similar to our Steelix Golisopod Toxicroak team, only instead of Toxicroak, they're running Virizion. So very interesting. Guys, honestly, I've benched Virizion for the remainder of the season. Too many people have caught wise to the power of Virizion. That's why I ran Toxicroak with this line. So perhaps they caught the channel and felt safer with a Virizion, but this one's not going to go our way. We're trying our best, guys, to make something happen, but yeah, we were just hard countered at every turn, and you're going to be met with some team comps that will do that to you. That is inescapable with Pokemon Go Battle League, but you just have to try your best to win where you can, find your win con where you can, but unfortunately with this particular team, we were doomed from the very start. There's just no winning up against this particular team, which is unfortunate. So they're going to Dragon Tail us down, and we needed more energy, but they're at EQ energy, and that is about all she wrote for our poor A-Slash with no shields. Yeah, couldn't quite get that one done with that particular line. Good game, well played to them. So yeah, guys, if you have access to all three of these Pokemon, I would highly recommend giving it a try. This is an amazing team, but here we go. Cobalion lead. It's okay. Not as good as with Virizion, but still pretty good nonetheless. The reason why is because with that Steel subtyping, they are only taking neutral damage from any potential Moon Blast from us or Future Sight, if there is a Future Sight Crest. But we're going to go straight Moon Blast in this matchup. No need to debate. We win this quite comfortably in the zeros, no problem. But they can put in work with the Stone Edges, so we are keeping that in mind. The fact that they're not swapping out kind of clues me in that maybe they're a little weak to a Cresselia. So at some point we're going to look to pivot out of this, but we want to get it within a manageable health range just in case it happens to find its way to our A-Slash. So we'll catch it here. It's in the manageable health range for A-Slash, so we're going to catch that resisted damage on our fighting type Poliwrath. You'd love to see it. And they've got a Tentacruel in the back, so not particularly weak to Cresselia, which was very interesting to see. And not the best matchup for Poliwrath, if you can imagine, but looks like they're running Acid Spray. I was hoping they were running the recommended Blizzard. That would be a lot better for us, but this actually works out well because they threw that Acid Spray. They're getting much less farm on us here, so this is working out beautifully here. This is another Acid Spray. We will survive that, and you just go straight Scald in this matchup. It's gonna do more raw damage, and you do get that chance to 30% chance to lower the attack. We're not going to stick around to get farm down. We're going to pivot into our Alolan Sandslash here. This could be a Scald from them, but we do survive that no problem. And we are double resisting this fast move pressure. And they're staying in even more so. We're just going to get rid of it with an Ice Punch after overloading. You always want to overfarm as much as you can when you have such a dominant type advantage, and they do bring back in the Cobalion to get farmed down, wanting to get more of those double super effective double kicks in, and they've got a Mandibuzz in the back, so this is looking pretty good. Shields are still up on both ends, but we are absolutely loaded on energy. We are thoroughly ahead on energy here, going for Ice Punch number 2 on the Mandibuzz here. They are resisting the fast move pressure, but we get to those Ice Punches at a very fast rate. They realize it's not trending in the right direction. They exit stage left. Good game well played to them. And that is the team, my friends. So I wanted to run Cresselia. I get a lot of people asking me about Cresselia. What's a good team for it? So I wanted to run Cress and give you guys a good Cresselia team that you can put in work with in the Ultra League. If you're still working on your climb or achieving whatever your goals may be and you want to run Cresselia, I wanted to give you guys a good team for the best, one of the best teams you can run with Cresselia. So that's what we did here. I wanted to protect Cresselia from opposing steel types in the meta. Poliwrath does that very well, and so does the Alolan Sandslash. Poliwrath covers the fire type weakness from Cresselia quite well, as we saw in this video. And in the right circumstances, A-Slash can put in work against the fire types as well, which we also saw. So you put all that together, guys, that's a recipe for a lot of success as well as a lot of fun in the Ultra League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you guys.